Hi there everyone, it's Jaycee. Welcome back to another perfect pairing with me. What if I told you there's a hidden architecture to a well-designed card? Instead of just crafting, I'm showing you the pre-production secret I use to swatch, scale, and secure my layouts. Keep watching to see this amazing tool Altenew has to offer. I'm going to make one of the first steps in card making really simple for myself. This mini color inspiration printable at Altenew creates 12 perfectly curated palettes for any mood. I wanted to challenge myself with colors on my examples today and use this second palette with Warm Sunshine, Lemonade Stand, Pinkalicious, Limeade, Fresh Leaf, and Moonrock. I've got this printable linked in the description box so that you can take the guesswork out of picking the perfect palette and start creating. Now that we've picked this palette, I'm going to get my first set of crafty products for this card. This is the One Go Friendship Flowers Stamp, Die, and Stencil Bundle. This was a previous exclusive product for the Secret Garden 2025 retreat. I'm so glad that you all can finally get your hands on this one. To start this first element, I'm using the larger Stampwheel 2.0 platform and aligning a 6 by 8.5 inch white cardstock panel. This is plenty of cardstock surface to stamp the large connected floral image in Friendship Flowers. I'll stamp the large image on this panel using Moonrock Fresh Dye ink from Warm Gray Fresh Dye ink set. I'm not worried about the placement of this element as I know I will be die cutting this image. Once I have a solid outline placed on my panel, I'll use the coordinating layering stencils to One Go Friendship Flowers. We got so lucky with this set. The printable mini color inspiration guide has 6 colors, and there so happens to be 6 layers to the stencil. Again, no guesswork on this card, just crafting. I'm going in numerical order of the stencils, starting with number 1 of course. I'll work in lightest value to darkest value to preserve the dimension of the flowers for a fairly realistic color blend. I'm working a solid wash of Warm Sunshine from Summer Afternoon Fresh Dye ink set and a large ink blending tool to work up this color quickly. Then for stencil layer number 2, I'll use Lemonade Stand from Citrus Punch Fresh Dye ink and fill a solid wash of this color. On stencil layer number 3, I'll use Pinkalicious, which is from Cherry Blossom Fresh Dye ink set. I'll use a mini ink blending tool for this layer to catch the details of the blooms. Then on the first foliage layer on stencil layer number 4, I'll use Limeade from Whispering Woodland Fresh Dye ink set. I'll use a large ink blending tool to ensure I get a solid wash of this light yellow-green on the open areas of the leaves. Then I'll finish off the layering stencil with stencil number 5 and the detail foliage images with a mini ink blending tool and Fresh Leaf. Fresh Leaf is also from Whispering Woodland Fresh Dye ink set. I'm not using stencil number 6 for this project, but this stencil fills in the negative areas around the flowers. I love this for seamless die cut transitions between the statement flowers and a colored background without a white die cut margin. I'll use the One Go Friendship Flowers die set to cut this cluster of flowers. As the name implies, one die will cut all of the floral images in this set in one go. So no need to align smaller dies for each image. Once this is cut, I'll set this on a tray and move on to another element of this card. Ornamental Poppies was also an exclusive Secret Garden 2025 item that has now been released for you all to experience. This was the die set I taught with during the Secret Garden, and I couldn't help but use the die set again because I love all the movement in the image. On this tray, I cut all the images I wanted to use on this card already. The keyhole poppy is cut from Warm Sunshine Crafty Necessities cardstock, the triangle poppy from Lemonade Stand, and the ornate poppy foliage and the accompanying poppy centers from Moonrock Crafty Necessities cardstock. Again, these are the same colors on the mini color inspiration printable palette number 2 that we worked on for One Go Friendship Flowers. To match the ink blended washes I did on the previously mentioned One Go Friendship Flowers, I'll use the coordinating inks on these cardstocks for a cohesive scene. On the Warm Sunshine Keyhole Alignment Poppy, I'll use a number 7 detail blending brush to create light directional strokes from the edge of the poppy petal. I am blending this color toward the center of the flower for ruffled texture of this flower. Then on the Lemonade Stand Triangle Alignment image, I'll use Pinkalicious Fresh Dye ink to blend a center halo of color. I'll use a number 10 micro blending brush to blend Pinkalicious for a little more control of color placement on the center of the poppy flower. After that, all I have to do is quickly assemble the floral layers using the layering guide found on the Ornamental Poppies packaging. I finished both flowers with the Moon Rock cardstock centers to hide the alignment cutouts on the poppies. I'm going to let these die-cut poppy images fully dry on my tray and move on to my secret for balanced composition, the hidden grid that dictates exactly where these floral elements should land. This is another printable from Altenew, and it's the perfect crafting companion as the name suggests. I'm not going to use this first page in the printable because we used the mini color inspiration guide to help with this guide, so the printables are a perfect pairing within themselves. On the second page, there are 2 guides for balanced compositions. For this project, I'm using the golden ratio template found here. There are many creative ways to use the golden ratio on your Altenew projects. Let's walk through one of the ways we can arrange our crafted elements to make a visually pleasing project. I'm loosely aligning the golden ratio template so that it matches the alignment of the portrait A2 silhouette on my Altenew cutting and alignment mat. What I'm using on this golden ratio template is the golden spiral. I'm loosely following the lines of the golden spiral to match the implied lines of the foliage elements, ink blended elements, and die cut elements to follow the curvature of the line. Just like the area close to the center of a hurricane is the strongest area of winds, the center of the golden spiral is a healthy place to put strong focal points, like the ink blended ornamental poppies. Then I'll use the curvature of the Ornamental Poppies Moon Rock foliage to loosely follow the line of the golden spiral. I'll fill in this top area of the spiral with additional floral images from One Go Friendship Flowers. Once I'm happy with the planned placements of everything, I'll gently slide this arrangement off my Arrange and Align station. I have many more die cut and blended elements from both Ornamental Poppies and One Go Friendship Flowers. I might as well use them on a second example. Let's rotate the golden ratio template so that the center of the spiral is now on the bottom portion of the A2 alignment guide. I'll follow the same curvatures of the lines in the golden spiral. Cutting apart the Ornamental Poppies flourishes helps perfectly trace the line of the golden spiral. Then I can fill in gaps in the spiral line with flowers and flourishes with the stenciled Friendship Flowers images. Once I'm happy with the flow of this arrangement, I'll slide this off my template again. Save this template inside an Altenew 9x11.5 storage pocket for easy reference on another project. Now that I have a plan for the layout of these 2 cards, now all I have to do is glue the pieces to a panel of white cardstock. I will alter and play with the arrangement as I see fit for the card front. I don't mind if elements fall out of the frame. I love what it does for the silhouette of the card front. Then I'll repeat this process of gluing and foam mounting elements to my card front for the second golden spiral arrangement. Great, so we've got our main elements to this card. We just need a sentiment and some embellishments. I diluted a little bit of jet black ink spray with water to get a dark gray splatter on both cards. I like splatter for this specific application because the random splatter helps balance the rigid structure and line of the golden spiral. I like the balance of organic and geometric elements. Then I'll also add pure white ink spray splatter for more fun. Now I'll add these die cut and stamped sentiments to my card fronts. These sentiments are from One Go Friendship Flowers. I place these sentiment banners along the implied curvature of the golden spiral. I like the frame it creates on the card front. Then I'll finish this card with Crystal Moonlight Stellar Sequins, again following the general path of the golden spiral. This is why I love the Altenew Crafting Companion. It turns the mystery of design into a simple, repeatable system. When you pair curated color with intentional composition, your cards don't just look good, they feel balanced. If you're ready to take the guesswork out of your layouts, grab this printable linked in the description box.